would you know where to find the perfect lender?
That's a great question, Gary, because most people don't realize how to find a great lender. I'll tell you the number one spot, and where most of my clients find me, other than referrals from past clients, is online reviews.
Oh,
If
okay.
somebody's got hundreds of online reviews, 5-star, that's a pretty good indication that they know what they're doing. Not only in the mortgage space, but in anything. If you're going for knee surgery, would you want the doctor that's
Right.
done it 1,000 times that has a bunch of 5-star reviews, or would you want the guy that's got 3 reviews
No, of
or
course.
5
Right,
reviews?
right.
So that's the number one spot, is to go on Google or a search engine and find reviews to find that lender. So that's number one. Number two would be a referral from a realtor. Most real estate professionals that have been in the game any long amount of time have some lenders that they've worked with that have a track record of success, that have gotten from the application to the pre-approval to the closing table with minimal issues. So that's another great place, is if you have a realtor, they can give you some referrals. And the last one, and again, where I get a ton of business, is repeat and referrals.
Of
so
course,
people
yeah.
that have worked with me before, their son's buying a home, their cousin's buying a home, a friend, a coworker, that's where you're talking and you say, hey, who'd you use? Or they say, hey, I've got a great lender that I've worked with before, and you get their contact information. That's going to be way better than any other method.
But there's got to be some red flags, I would imagine, that you should be looking for from a mortgage company or even a loan officer.
There are some really big red flags.
Yeah, I
and
would
one of
imagine.
the great things is that there's something now called the NMLS, which stands for National Mortgage Licensing System. This is a website that I'll give you here in a second that you can go in and you can put the ID number of your mortgage originator, your loan officer. That ID number is several digits long, and it's attached to that person. No matter what company they work for, it's attached to their license. You can see their employment history. You can see any regulatory actions against them. You can verify their license, okay? The website is nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Again, nmlsconsumeraccess.org. You can go there. It's completely free. You can put in the ID number or the NMLS ID of the mortgage officer that you're speaking with, and you can get all that information about them. It's a red flag if that's not even on their email signature, because it's supposed to be. It's got to be. It should be on their business card, their email signature. You should be able to say to them on the phone, hey, what's your NMLS ID? Everybody has
And I'll bet
one.
nobody asks that because they don't
I'll
know
tell you
to.
right now, mine is 80786, okay? Any mortgage originator should know that. And again, it should be on all their identifying info, including an advertisement. It should have that in the fine print. So you can go before you even call, type in their ID number, see, are they who they say they are? Where'd they work? What's their employment history? How long have they been with the mortgage company they're with? Do they have regulatory actions against them? It'll show if they've had infractions, if they've had issues. If they're talking to you in Connecticut as someone buying a home, but it doesn't show that they're licensed in Connecticut, huge red flag. You don't want to be dealing with that person. And experience matters, as we've discussed. You can see how long they've been doing mortgages. You'd be surprised with some of these online lenders. I put in the ID number and they've been doing mortgages for 3 months. Before that, they were working at Sunglass Hut. Is that somebody that you want dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars, dealing with the biggest financial transaction you make? This is how you find these red flags.
Wow. I had no idea. I really don't. Now, what about, in fact, I didn't even know there was even by state.
Well, it's a national system now. Okay, this came after the
But
housing crisis.
why even bother advertising in a state that you're not authorized to?
Because people put a deal through
And
somebody they know, and
but would
they'll
it still
get a
be
kickback.
valid?
No, it's illegal. It happens all the time, unfortunately. But it's illegal. It's against the law. You can't do it. That's why they have these licensing requirements. But that's how you can vet this person, is if they're talking to you about buying a house in Connecticut or getting a mortgage in Connecticut, make sure their license shows online that they're licensed in Connecticut. What if they got an infraction years ago and now they're not licensed in Connecticut?
Yeah.
They're going to put that deal through their buddy, that is, and get a kickback. Huge red flag. Stay away. Do not move forward.
Can I switch lenders? And I know we're running out of time, but this is so important. Can I switch lenders after starting the process with somebody else?
You can switch lenders. It happens. It's definitely frowned upon. because you do so much work up front to get the approval done, to get the documentation, to get a relationship
but
and
there's
some rapport.
sometimes there's good reasons, though, too.
There are, but you want to spend time up front interviewing several lenders. If you're going to shop around, if you're going to, talk to several people, use that time to vet them. Ask the right questions, as we're discussing here. Look them up online. Make sure that everything is good to go so that you don't have to switch lenders, okay? If you do that vetting up front, you're not going to need to switch. It's that simple. But like you said, there are reasons that you might need to.
Yeah. I mean, nobody goes into it wanting to do that, but you just mentioned some red flags that we should be looking for, and I can't imagine already commencing the process only to discover after the fact that, oh man, I got to stop. I got to stop with
I
this
would say that's the minimal one. Like we said, most people just don't take the time to do that vetting up front. But the real reasons why you'd want to consider switching would be if the communication is just not there. If they started the process and then they fall off the face of the earth and you can't reach them.
Yeah.
This is a business that's constantly moving. I mean, look, everyone's
Well, that's
busy,
a big red flag, too.
But that's a reason that you'd switch lenders is they're not communicating with you. They're not discussing things. You need to switch to someone that's more responsive. The other thing is the numbers change. They tell you up front, oh, yeah, this is what your interest rate's going to be, or give you, some idea of that. Then you go to lock in your rate, and it's significantly different. Or the payment is significantly different. Or they tell you you're going to need $15,000 for closing, and then we get ready, and that's it. It doubles.
Oh, man. Has this been some valuable information? I'll bet most people don't even know about the MLSConsumerAccess.org website. Very, very key. Folks, my goodness, talk about writing something down. Write this down. 860-413-3938. I'm going to repeat that for you. That's how important it is. And I'll give you a couple of seconds if you need to get yourself a piece of paper or a pencil. Write it down, 860-413-3938. Incredibly important number for you to reach Rob Weinberg himself. You're going to want to make an appointment with him as soon as you possibly can. What is your website really quick?
Yep, robgw.com.
robgw.com. For Rob Weinberg, I'm Gary Byron. Thank you so much for listening to Mortgage Matters Radio Show. Until next Saturday, have a good one, everybody. So long.